How's it going? See if I can just tilt that back just a little bit. How's everybody doing? Let me turn this off. Don't mind me, folks. I've been working on pumpkin since yesterday. I just shut off my canner, got 16 pints of cubed pumpkin in the canner. And then I have probably 7 quarts that I'm going to can next. Hey, Angie, how's Aunt Audrey today? Marnie Ann is our newest patron. Hi, how's it going? Lena K. Let me say hi to everybody. All right, Angela Passmore, Betty Randall, Seashell, Lena K, and Marnie Ann. Is that it? Is that it? Betty Randall, Celeste, hi. So, I was going to change my shirt because this one's just all dirty and covered in pumpkin and sweat and stuff. But the reality is I'm having a shower after the live stream, but before supper. So I'm not going to bother changing my clothes before I shower, right? Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it. Hi, Catherine. Hey, hot child in the city. Ma Martha, Helen 22, April Greer. Where's my Bubba? Is Bubba there? Tell him Grammy loves him. So, it turns out that half of those little pumpkins were getting had soft spots and they weren't, but I did get some pumpkin out of them, but the most comes from the jack-o'-lantern. Do you remember the jack-o'-lantern? I'm getting an earache. The jack-o'-lantern that Howie drew the face on Halloween when we were trunk-or-treating. Well, that jack-o'-lantern has now been cut up. And between the two of them, I got if there was no water in the pail, it would have been a pail and a half, 5-gallon pail plus a half of pumpkins. So, Vicky Lemire, Jean Phillips, Lori M, Joe Obama, Celeste Auto Care. So let me just get my stuff together here. Don't let me forget that I'm actually on public live stream here. But so yeah, and Howie it's no news that, ever since Howie's heart attack, his new job, plus, AdSense taking money out of me, that we've been back to the old days of making it ends meet, right? And Vicky Lemire, Jean. So if I say your name more than once, it's just because I want to make sure I haven't forgotten to say hello to you. Okay? So I'm not forgetful. I just want to make sure. Hey, Skippy Jones. How are you, darling? So anyway, I just turned the canner off. What on earth I'm going to do with 16 pints and 7 quarts of pumpkin, I have no idea. But it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And pumpkin is one of those things, too. You can throw cubed pumpkin into a soup. You can you can puree it and make a creamed soup. You can make pies. You can make pumpkin bread, pumpkin cookies. I mean, there is uses for it, right? Doc thinks my muscles are giving me this trouble in lower back and legs. Ow. Hi, Kelly. Sue Martin. How's it going? And casseroles. I know, right? So I've also got some ideas. So I mean, it's for the same, I canned all this pumpkin for the same reason I got an extra bag of carrots. I have no idea what is coming down the pipe. Well, I have a pretty good idea, actually. But Hell House Paranormal. Hi, Sarah. Casseroles, yes. Hell, I'm not donating the pumpkin. I did bowling for pumpkins yesterday. It's the ones that had soft spots, like I picked one up and my finger went through. So I went out to my deck and I pretended I was 5-pin bowling, and I heaved about 4 or 5 of them off the end of the deck. So it was quite fun. Pumpkin pies, breads, all of that. Absolutely all of that. Hey, Helen. Where's Helen? Hi, Helen. How's it going? So, I mean, I remember when Howie and I were running the AA meeting here in Low, and we had to stop because 9 times out of 10 it was just Howie and I on the Friday night meetings, and then it was like our weekends were constantly tied up if no one showed up, right? I like pumpkin with butter and a little salt. So while jack-o'-lanterns aren't that tasty, right? They're pretty bland, but the truth is food is food. And I'm trying a new dish tonight. It is not a video, but if it turns out, it will be a video. It's fried stew. It's basically, you know, one of my little packages of strip beef, the little packages of strip meat. I minced potatoes really small. I minced onions, and I'm frying the meat and the potatoes and the onions together. And then right near the end, when it's about ready to serve up, I'm either going to open a jar of carrots and cut them into it and then stir, or I'm just going to put green beans on the side. Got a tens unit. What's a tens unit? Okay, what am I missing here, Vicky? I have to open the window. This weather is making me crazy. Howie put a log on the fire before he went to work this morning, and I've been trying to get cool ever since. Aldo! Steven! Hey, Sherry Leach! Can I save turkey neck and other parts to simmer with bones for broth? Why not? Let me tell you something. I took Briar to the IGA, I think it was last week. And I just out of curiosity, I actually filmed it with my phone, but I never made a video. I filmed the prices of meat. But I had gone and asked the lady behind the butcher. There's not even a butcher counter anymore. It's just a window, right? You just knock on the window and they come out through the door. And I said, where do you keep all your beef soup bones? Oh, they're over here. And I think I told you guys there was 2 little round bones together would not have made a bone this big. Marrow bones. $5.75. And I said, oh, she said, is this what you want? I said, not at that price. I'm sorry. I said, I know you just work here, but that's nuts. I said, what are those? I couldn't tell what it was. Great big turkey necks. Like really big turkey necks. Those were $2. So I grabbed 3 of them. Yes, I have chicken and turkey broth with meat canned in my pantry. But I'm telling you guys, things are getting really creepy weird. Crazy prices. Absolutely. Excuse me, folks. I'm still really hot from canning. Look up Pure Ratios. It's a CBD patch. I have found that helps a lot. Marianne Camp, can you dehydrate pumpkin and rehydrate it and use like canned pumpkin? Yes. Okay. When you dehydrate pumpkin, okay, I'm going to tell you. It's really simple. Okay? You roast your pumpkins. You scoop them out, cut them in half, scoop them out, roast them in the oven upside down on a cookie sheet. Then when they're cooked, the meat is soft. You scoop it out with an ice cream scoop, and then you put it in a blender. Say you have 4 cups of pumpkin. Then you add 2 cups of water. Now, I know it doesn't sound like it makes sense to add water if you're going to dehydrate. But if your pumpkin is too thick, it will dehydrate in hard chunks that you will not be able to grind. So you puree, that's 4 cups of pumpkin with 2 cups of water, and then you pour it on fruit leather trays, and you pour it really thin. And you just keep doing that, because that way, and you don't make it thick. You don't want fruit leather. You want it to actually dry, so that as it dries, the pumpkin actually separates. You'll get it. You want it really, really thin. And then you grind it and it comes out perfect. Perfect powder. And then all you have to do is for a cup of pumpkin, you use a quarter cup of pumpkin powder and 3/4 to a cup, depending on how thick you want it, of boiling water. 3/4 of a cup to a cup. Hey, Kathy Krause, clever you. Yeah, same as squash. Teasers, pleasers. Hey, how's it going? Pumpkin chili. What's pumpkin chili? Okay, I'm just going to, you know what? I'm sitting here. I'm just going to look that up. Because I got to find reasons or recipes to use up all this pumpkin. Turkey pumpkin chili. Turkey pumpkin chili. Pumpkin vegetarian chili. All right, sounds like an idea. Howie's already getting vegetarian meals. He just doesn't realize it. It's 25 Fahrenheit here in North Wind. Pumpkin soup. I know, but I'm hey, Yossi, EJM. Pumpkin pie, pumpkin soup, pumpkin bread. I know, there's so many uses for it. So so Howie, I asked him last week. So I bought those turkey necks. So yes, if you have a turkey carcass, like you've just had Thanksgiving dinner and you just don't want to do it, throw it in a bag and throw it in the freezer and deal with it after when you have a day to breathe, because I know what it's like to. But when I do like a turkey dinner at Christmas or Thanksgiving, which we didn't have a turkey this year, well, we did. We had turkey at the racetrack. What I do is when everybody's done, any leftover mashed potatoes, any leftover vegetables, meat, stuffing, gravy, I sit right at the table. And I sort through everything, and I make casseroles, and I pop them in the freezer. Then the table gets cleared, and the carcass goes in the crock. And this is all before I go and have a cup of tea. So, I mean, that's just the way it works here, right? Use as a side like squash, yeah. You know what though, Joe? Pumpkin chili and soup just don't sound appealing to me. But the thing is it doesn't taste like pumpkin. I don't think. The whole trick to vegetarian cooking is to make it taste like something you would eat anyway, right? I just did Google it. How's Helen 22 today? So, I mean, I'm going to find this year it's not going to be the same old meals. Like right now I'm making, and I'm telling you guys, never buy Whirlpool. Where the hell is my rolling papers? Never buy Whirlpool stoves or dishwashers. They're crap. Absolute crap. So, what's going on here? I only have 2 burners that work correctly on my stove, even after I repaired them. So what I'm doing is I've got water on one burner so that I can blanch the next batch of pumpkin, and I've got the canner cooling down on the other burner, and I've got a portable burner that I got from the hardware store on the counter with my frying pan on it. Oh, Sarah, don't even say fridge. So, I mean, my beater bars and my dishwasher are held together with zip ties, my whirligig things. So, and I don't like my washing machine. Don't like the way it works. I'd rather have a central agitator. So, I mean, yeah. But maybe that's what I'll ask Santa Claus to get me for Christmas, is another stove. I'll tell you. Well, I have no idea now one of the reasons I'm this is okay. I'm I'm amazed I'm not panicking because this is November. Now, what is usually Mrs. Wolfie doing in November? Getting ready for Christmas, but I'm not. I still have to clean my freezer. It's empty. And my little freezer is full, but the big one has to be cleaned before I can clean the small one, right? Um, so my freezer is not full. We're not raising animals anymore. And gas prices are high, and Howie and I have both taken a loss on our incomes. So, I mean, we're getting back into what life was like back in the day. Okay? Ain't nothing going to waste in this house at all. I'll get it all. Hi, Andrew. How are you, darling? I will get it all done. I'll get it all done, but it's like Howie's got one weekend left to hunt. That's this weekend. And the freezer's still not, it doesn't matter though, but the weather is driving me nuts too because it's too mild. It's too mild to hang a deer. It's like, this is nuts, right? Excuse me. It's so, I don't know, man. I no longer assume that everything's going to be okay when it comes to this winter. Hey, Jennifer W., how are you? Just dehydrated cauliflower, 3 huge heads. So do you rice it when you like, do you cook it and rice it? Did I take the pin out? No, I did not. Excuse me. So, yeah, on my way home, saw I know. They're everywhere. Turkeys are everywhere right now. But here, they only have one turkey hunt a year because our turkeys were hunted damn near to extinction in Quebec and Ontario. I remember back in the day when we bought our first house in Ontario, and we had gotten some bronze turkeys for the back to raise. Howie said, I want a turkey that looks like a turkey, not these big ugly white things, right? So he wanted a real turkey. So we raised a few bronze turkeys, and the next year I went to the co-op to order bronze turkey chicks again, and they said, no, they're not selling them. And I went, why? And he said, because all bronze turkey chicks hatched across Canada and Quebec back then were being hatched for release to repopulate. So you live in town. My hair is lovely at this stage. It's nuts. But you know what? I'm letting it grow out again, so why not? We'll see. We'll see. It's not lovely. It's a pain in the ass. Right? So why my next one should be an upright freezer? Well, yes and no. I mean, my freezer is actually big. I bought that freezer when I first started with one of my first paychecks working at the bakery because we had gone bankrupt and I had lost a bunch of weight and I could work. And I think I paid $685 for that big chest freezer, but we don't need it. So I'm really tempted to put it out to the curb and see if I can't find another half-size one, Never tried that, but I think I will try it. Thanks for sharing. Never tried what, teasers? Turkeys up the arse here, tons of them. Well, I'll tell you something. One wanders into my yard. And I are going to have a discussion about Christmas. Autumn Leaf! Hi, darling. How are you? How's it going? So, yeah. I'm just waiting for Howard to come home, and I'm canning pumpkin. Oh, right. So last week, I told her, because we're tight, because payday's not until Wednesday next week, right? And I said to Howie, pick up a small bag of onions, some milk. The hell else was it I needed? And eggs, milk, eggs, and onions, right? So he brings home this 10-pound bag of onions. And I really hate to say it to him. Say, Howie, 10-pound bags of onions, half of them get thrown out because they go soft and they start growing. But I didn't want to say anything to him. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to set aside the best 3 pounds of those onions, and then I'll probably do it tonight. I'm going to start chopping and blanching and dehydrating onions. So, oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. Wild turkeys are mean as hell, too. Oh. Anyone with Ibotta app can get up to $15 on turkeys at Walmart, almost 20 pounds. Yeah, well, that must be in the U.S. chaos, because in Canada, you try and find a turkey. The only turkey we have is running the country. Bum. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Wild turkey meat has a different texture. Most hunters around here only eat the breast. Not us, man. We cook the whole thing. Right? But you brine it. You brine that turkey. Hey, Rodney, how are you? Lena K. Bev, I almost went ass over tea kettle cleaning out the bottom of the freezer. I know. That's why it's Howie's job. It's Howie's job. I cleaned it out. I got everything out of it. Now, when he gets home tonight, he has to take the lid off it, unplug it, and stand the lid up so that it can start to thaw and stuff. Turkey, 33 cents a pound at Meijer today. Tons of them. Not here. Not here in Canada. I'm sorry, Canada is having trouble getting turkeys. Well, it's all right. I'll get a ham instead. I'm telling you, if my paycheck comes in at full power this month, because I've been waiting since June for them to stop taxing taxing me for the U.S. government and give me my friggin' money back, Google. If that comes in, because, it would be nice if it came in December, but guess what? That's the week before Christmas. What am I going to do with it then? Everything's going to be gone, and who wants to be out in the shopping the week before Christmas, right? Stuffed cabbage roll. Take your balance in. Hey, 49 cents a pound. I just don't understand it. Autumn Fireside, how's it going? I'm doing well. Maggie Calhoun, nobody answers questions here. Well, Maggie, I answer as many as I can. But sometimes when I'm answering a question, other questions go by because I'm focusing on one. So you just have to be patient and ask me again. $1.39 a pound in Iowa. Wow. Well, I'm going to wait and see. I'm really hoping if my paycheck comes in properly, the way it's supposed to. Hang on a second here, folks. Then it'll be a Costco run for sure. It'll be a Costco run for sure. And most of that will be meat. Well, not mostly meat. I'm going to get my organic pasta. This is I'm planning. I haven't been able to go to Costco ever since they started taking 25% of my YouTube income right off the top for U.S. taxes. And they're not supposed to do that with mine. So long story, but we're back. Turkey browning bags for the ham and turkey, also dressing clean up. Yeah, it all depends on where you live. True. Is 68 cents per pound a good price for turkey? In Canada, that would be, I'd be pulling up with a truck. I haven't seen a turkey in Canada under $1.29 a pound since the pandemic started. Bottled up your homemade vinegars today. Oh, that's awesome. Hi, Sherry Prophet. I wish you wouldn't criticize your hair. I think it's a beautiful color and thick. Well, it is a great color. I mean, when I'm in the bathroom sometimes and my hair's all standing on end, it looks like silver fire. It's really cool. I love my hair. I'm just saying it's a pain in the butt. So, I cut it all off for a reason, but it's coming back. What about all my canned meat? What do you think Howie's getting in his lunches? Because Howie doesn't eat lunch meat. There's no bologna or sliced ham or anything like that in his lunch meat anymore. He gets, what did he get today? He got cheese and hemp hearts today, which is cheese and mayonnaise and hemp hearts and minced onion. And then it's all mixed together like you would tuna, only it's done with cheese and mayo and onion and hemp hearts. We got a butterball for $1.49 a pound. Oh my God. Well, and like I said, my canned meat is I'm not using it if I don't have to. But most of the stuff like the pork that I cleaned out of the bottom of the freezer and I cooked it and then I ground it and I dry canned it. That's lunch meat for Howie. Canned tuna is lunch meat. He doesn't eat lunch meat, processed lunch meat anymore. I know it's better for him. Like once in a blue moon, I'll probably like I've bought lunch meat twice since Howie's had his heart attack. Once it was sliced chicken breast, and once it was bologna. And I don't. Um, that's $7 a package for 8 slices of chicken breast. I am not buying lunch meat. But yeah, so that meat is going quick. That meat's going quick. So there's things I need to do. I need to go to if God, my paycheck needs to be full strength this month because I don't want to shop in December, right? I don't want to shop in December. So I want to get Annie's. I want to get more pasta. I want to get more oatmeal. I want to get more canned milk. Um, because you know what? Using the canned milk in my macaroni and cheese and other things like pancakes and stuff like that, it saves the fresh milk for like our tea and coffee and cereal and stuff. Occasionally doesn't hurt. I know. Bev, do you and Howie eat much seafood? No. My town has a fresh fish market. I rarely buy from there because I'm not confident cooking fish. I'm not huge on fish. I'm really not. A, nobody talks about what was the Fukushima. Nobody talks about that. Do you know they're still running ocean water right through that to cool that core of Fukushima? And it's running and they're pumping it in and but right back out into the ocean. I'm really careful with how much fish we actually eat. Can you sing to our sweet Adeline? She is 5 today. Absolutely. Is it Adeline or Adeline? Make sure you spell it phonetically for me, and I will. Well, I mean, everything. Honey, there's really no such thing as really good organic shit anymore. Everything's polluted. The water's polluted, the air's polluted, the soil's polluted. We do the best we can with what we have. But really buying from the grocery store is like a last line. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear sweet Adeline. Happy birthday to you. Mwah. Happy birthday, Adeline. So, I mean, you do what you can with what you got. And this is something that I'm going to say, and it's probably the trolls are just going to love it and they're just going to do it more, but I'm going to say this. Stop criticizing how I cook. And this isn't the people who aren't, I'm not talking to the people who don't. I'm talking to the people who do. I'm getting sick and bloody tired of people saying, oh, how you just not very heart smart, or you're going to kill your husband, and blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to start deleting all those comments. Even if, like, if you have a recipe suggestion, great. But don't say, oh, too much rice and not enough veg, too much pasta and not enough meat. Blah, 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 blah. You know what? I'm going to say it once. Leave it alone. Okay. I have only been running a YouTube channel for 12 years. 20 years ago, we ate flavored instant mashed potatoes. I cooked with mushroom soup all the time. I used my microwave. Everything we did was store-bought when we weren't raising our own. Okay? The fact that Howie and I quit smoking, quit drinking, moved to the country, and chose a healthier lifestyle is the only reason my husband's still alive. And the fact that we did, the cardiologist said, if you hadn't made the changes when you did, he would have dropped dead 10 years ago. So please, folks, I know you love me and I know you love Howie, but saying, oh, it's only a suggestion, but, or I don't mean to criticize, but everything after but in that sentence is bullshit and I'm tired of it, okay? How you cook, well, it is, yeah, how you cook is nobody's business. You've been doing great. Well, the thing is, Joe Mama, is I make it everybody's business because I'm cooking online. But I am not cooking so that people can criticize how I do things. I'm just cooking to show you how I do things. Right? You don't want to do it that way, or you want to do it differently? Great. I'm not telling you to cook the way I cook, so don't you tell me how to cook the way I cook or the way you cook. Now, these are names, and, it's just people. I got a little stressed. I've had a rough couple of weeks. It's been a rough friggin' year, okay? And, people will come in and they'll go, blah, 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 and then on a comment, and then they'll delete it. So it only comes up on in my email. Nobody else sees it. So I've just started doing it back. It's like, I mind your own business. You do you. And then I'll delete the I'll send it, and then I'll delete it. See how they like it. Hey, Becky. I missed something here. Bell Prepper 1970. Hey, baby. Hi, Mrs. V. I bought a brand new sewing machine about 10 years ago and never used it. I'd like to give it a try. Do I have to oil it somewhere? I have all-in-one stuff. Yes, you really should. But do me a favor. Do yourself a favor. Google how to oil Google or DuckDuckGo or YouTube how to properly oil your make and model of a sewing machine, okay? Because I have like 4 sewing machines, and 2 of them need to be taken out to be serviced because I just don't know how to do it. Hey, Aces, how are you? You always say you do you, I do me. If people can't use their own brain, more fool them. Well, emergency call to babysit. Love my grandson, but a little notice would be nice. A little notice with everything would be nice, wouldn't it? I've seen your healthier choices and you're doing great. Well, like for instance, I made the hemp hearts and stuff. Less pasta and more, those 4 pieces of broccoli. How do you know how many pieces of broccoli were? Do you really? Because when I ate mine, I ate all the broccoli out of it first because I never know how much is going to fit in my stomach. So I eat the broccoli stuff first. And I had at least 7 pieces in my little bowl, and Howie got twice as much as I did. So, I've never thought to Google how. Well, there you go. It's good to see you, Aces. It's good to see you. Hey, Barb, how are you? Big 6-pound chicken in my tabletop roaster. Should be ready around 6. It was nice having salmon yesterday. Well, I'm making fried stew. Like I said, I got that little package of strip beef and then I cut it up smaller while it was frozen. Not quite, but I mean, size is the piece of your thumbnail, say. And 3 potatoes and 3 onions, and I minced them, and that's frying, and that's frying in a little bit of Evo, and it's like you know what drives me crazy though is I see so many people posting recipes on Facebook and on YouTube and all this stuff with country fried chicken, steak, and cornbread, and taters, and gravy, and corn on the cob. And everyone goes, ooh, ah, and it's all slathered in gravy. And I thought, if I put out a video like that, they'd, they'd, they'd tie me to a wheel, set me on fire, and roll me down a hill. Mama cat! Bev, I understand that you do not like criticism, but really, please do not use that voice. What voice are you talking about? Because I've noticed, Helen, honestly, let's get down to the skinny here. I noticed you haven't been around much lately. I don't know if it's because you don't like the direction that my channel's going in, or I don't know if you don't like the growth, my personal growth. But don't tell me how to talk, please. This is my channel, and I'll use any tone of voice I need to get my point across. So if I want to be a dickhead, I'll be a dickhead. But it doesn't give, if I'm a dickhead, go ahead and call me a dickhead. All right? But I'm just being me. Don't tell me how to be me. Okay? I'll love you, but I'm calling you out. I'm tired of people thinking just because I sit in front of this camera every day that they have a right to tell me how to be me. Not happening. Anyone put up a Christmas decorations yet? Oh my God, EJM. Hey Cheryl, how's it going? I love you too, Melka. Did you see the comment when you were saying how I could do this and do that? And I said, well, I could tell you to quit smoking and drinking. I mean, there's suggestions and then there's veiled criticism. And I know the difference. And one thing that's been going on lately in the last 6 months since my new grand awakening has been going on, it's really difficult to lie to me, even over the internet. I've been able to tell lies from truth with people standing in front of me my whole life. And kid you not, just because you're not standing in front of me doesn't mean I can't tell when someone is trying to be hurtful or veil or being snarky in a cute kind of way. Just because you say, I don't mean to criticize, but you might as well just forget finishing that sentence. Well, I mean, come on. I mean, I have spent 12 years becoming who I am on the internet today. And that's something. Now, I've had several phone calls now. Several phone calls where people want help making a YouTube channel. And I say, why do you want my help? I mean, there are YouTube creator videos all over there to tell you how to build your channel, build your subscriber base, and how to be popular and make friends and all this stuff on YouTube. Well, guess what? That's not who I am. So if you are thinking of doing a YouTube channel, because there's a lot of people out there that are, all right, and you want to get there fast, you want to be popular, you want to make money right away, don't talk to me about it. Don't ask me for advice, because the only way I know how to do it is to be who I am. and be real. And it's been, it's been a journey. It's been a real journey. And I have tried my best to please everybody, and it almost killed me. It almost killed me. So guess what? I'm not trying to please anybody anymore. I'm just here for the people who want to be here. If you don't like me, and this isn't for you guys that are here, but if I know Malka, I know sweetheart, but I mean, you and I at least keep the conversation going. All right? Pretty sure hi boo. Pretty sure there's going to be people who are going to go and walk away from this video and my channel and never come back. I'm not going to beg you to stay. I would love to learn to make videos just to show my family how I do things. Well, this is the thing. People have been asking me, and I said, look it. Someone recently said, well, a couple of people said, Bev, you need to figure out how to teach people how to run the channel the way you do. So why would anybody want to take 12 years to get to 100,000 subscribers? And the answer keeps coming back the same. You're authentic. You are who you are. You don't try and be somebody you're not. Blah 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 blah. And so it's been suggested to me that I do a video course on how. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do it, if I'm going to do it, but I may do if you want to do a YouTube channel that is you, that is more authentically you, but everybody else is telling you how to make it popular, then there's a difference, right? I love how you're standing up for yourself now. We love you so much. I will be decorating inside for Christmas soon. Outside is all done. Yeah, I've got my big ball lights up out there. But the thing is I always love your vids, especially on Cannabis channel where we can really talk free. I don't want to earn money. I just want to learn what camera I need and so on. Well, I mean, I started with a little digital camera, right? But everybody knows my favorite camera, which is in the kitchen right now because I'm filming canning pumpkin. I'd like to make home videos for my nieces. I don't have children to pass skills down to. Well, this is the thing too, is it's not just camera work. It's editing as well. It's trying to make sure, like, some people hate that I'm so repetitious. When I'm canning, I don't know who's new and who's not. So I repeat the same steps so that nobody makes a mistake if they can help it, right? Elaine Wagner. Now, why does that name sound familiar? YouTube is my go-to place when I need help. Repaired my fridge and washer. Good for you. Use your smartphone first. I hate filming with my phone. I do. It's convenient when I'm out in the garden and stuff, but I mean, I'm really grateful to have my new camera again. Because but the thing is the last person I talked to said, Bev, it may have taken you 12 years to get there, but you get to teach everybody how to avoid all the mistakes you made. If you made mistakes, then you get to teach people how to avoid them. So just because it took you 12 years to learn, what you learned in that process will make it easier and faster for other people. And I'm like, okay, well, I really can't take on another job right now, but I'll think about it. But I am thinking of making a series of unlisted videos on making a YouTube channel my way. Like my style, not me, but as for, Oh, Marnie, do it anyway, darling. Your channels are Helen 22. Your channels are amazing. Love you being for 10 years. God bless. Thank you, Helen. I guess Helen Burke wasn't happy with me saying, you know, this is my dilemma, folks. This is my dilemma. Let's not talk about YouTube for a moment. Let's talk about the future of this winter. Okay. That's who was telling me that 15, 20, and 25. I'll check Walmart hopefully next week. Well, it's going to be one of those things, but it won't be for Patreon, Stephen. It will be a different thing altogether. It will be a series of videos, basically, of me talking to you and then of telling you all the things you need to before you get started, then doing a series on your equipment, then doing a series on the editing software I use, and I can screen record showing you how I do editing and stuff. That's a wealth of information that I really don't, you know, that's a lot of that is a lot of information. So I must get going here. Everyone stay safe. Bye, Bev. Looking forward to that canning video. Loves you, darling. Well, tomorrow's video, I think, is on when I did the pasta Parmesan. Like, can you imagine if I'd actually put sour cream instead of yogurt on that? Oh my God! You'd think I was injecting solid sour cream right into Howie's arteries or something, right? Hey, Donalo, how are you, darling? What people would be getting from the videos, but I would have to get them all done first. So give me time. It's like writing a book, okay? Only I'm doing a series of videos. And I want to make sure they're right. But what people are going to get is the benefit of my experience to use however you wish. I would rather have 100 and what do I got now on my half acre homestead? I'd rather have 105,000 subscribers that took me 12 years to get to know and to get to, build a relationship with, than just be, okay, la 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 la. We're gonna do this, this, and this, and this. Click, 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 click. And then, if I want to play make believe, that's what my wigs and stuff are for. Okay, that's my fun. But when it's sharing information, it's important that you get it right, right? Oh, sweetheart, I won't be able to do it for free. I won't be able to do it for free. Because if you think about it, if I do a series of, I bet you I couldn't do it in any less than 10 videos. Because you got to have an introduction. And then you've got to have, I've got an idea of how I'm going to do it. But okay, good. Thank you, Helen. I wasn't sure, but and it's not an opinion. It was a criticism, Helen. You criticized my tone of voice. You may not like it, but it's not for you to criticize, is what I was trying to say. Doesn't change the fact that, you've been here for years and that I care and that I love you. I'm just not going to be anybody's. This is the part of me that a lot of people are not going to like. Okay. I see lies. I see criticism. I hear it. I can read between the lines in chat, all of that stuff. But make no mistake, if I don't call you on it, which I don't 90% of the time, if I don't call people on it, doesn't mean I don't see it. It just means I'm being polite. You feel me? I love you just the way you are. Wait. I love you just the way you are. Yes, and you're so thorough when you explain things, people will actually get something out of it and it will be money well spent. So, what about winter now? Okay, winter. All right, here we're going. 64-ounce ball, 6-pack canning jars at Walmart have jumped from 11. You're talking the half-gallon jars, right? Wow. I'm not apologizing. I'm just letting people know that I will not apologize for being me. And I'm not going to change who I am because I'm so busy changing and not changing. I'm so busy metamorphosizing and growing and moving forward. I don't have time to apologize and change for other people, even if I wanted to. Right? I'm not apologizing, sweetheart. I'm just saying it is what it is. Okay. Yeah, I've been going through all my jars and my half-gallon jars because I'm running out of them. So I should go to the hardware store because I paid $12 for 6 jars. So if they're the hardware store is pretty much the only place. But anyway, this winter normally we raise animals. Remember, last fall was the last time we butchered anything, and that was turkeys and chickens. Okay, this is our first real winter without home-raised meat in the freezer. Okay, this is the first fall where I haven't stocked my pantry and my freezers with canning and Costco. And it's November, and prices are climbing, and so is the gas. So here's the problem I'm facing. I have to cook as healthy as I can for both Howard and myself, still deal with the cost of gas and the cost of food, because make no mistake, it's a vicious cycle. Because every time food moves from a farmer to a plant to a store for you to go buy, every time that food gets moved, it goes up in price because of the cost of gas right now. So when I go to the store, I can't afford to go far unless I'm going to spend between $500 and $800. And I haven't had a paycheck to be able to do that with since before the spring. How he got laid off, how he blew his shoulder, how he got laid off, how he got another job paying less, how he had a heart attack. The pandemic cut my income in half. And then in June, YouTube started taking money. This is what I'm dealing with. So coupled between our pays being cut, us no longer being able to raise animals, and the cost of gas and the cost of food, I am not happy with how little my freezer and pantry is. So I'm already, if you haven't noticed, I'm already working on kind of a rationing system with meat already. Hey, is it Donna Balek? So, I mean, and then you think about this. So if I go to the store and if I only have $60 to go shopping and I have to put 10 of that in my truck just to go to Giant Tiger, now I only have $50. And the food I buy with that just costs more because I have to go. So if I'm going to go shopping, I'm not going shopping unless I can afford to do it big and do it once. Hey, David, how are you? That's the Green Deal. Yeah. So I mean, I gotta take a break. Streamlining is another way to look at it. Work smart, not hard. Exactly. Bev, you need to go back to making shirt videos to put up every day on this channel so you make all the money you can. I mean, I don't even know how to get into Teespring. I do have shirts, but I mean, I haven't had, this is the thing, is people are like, I want help. I want help and how to do a YouTube channel. Can you tell me how to do this? Can you tell me how to do that? And I don't have time. I'm getting older. I'm getting more decrepit. And time is a luxury I don't have. I have to work smarter, not harder. So my whole idea with this how to do a YouTube channel thing is something I'm going to have to put down on paper, figure out exactly how I'm going to do it, and then carve a time out of my life this winter to do it, because winter's actually my quiet time. Bev, Michelle said thank you. She will show Adeline after live. Oh, lovely. Bev, let's talk ducks. I only raised mallards. Oh, do you have any other suggestions on other breeds? I don't do ducks. Raccoons love ducks, and they will. I've raised turkeys and chickens, and we've figured out how to keep the raccoons out of them. But you put ducks in those yards, and they will find a way to tunnel. I don't know what it is about ducks and raccoons, and I don't like duck meat. I don't like a bird that smells and tastes like roast beef. It just throws me off. Okay, Donna. So, I mean, well, no, I mean, when you see me do a video, right? When you see me do a canning video, I tell you why you have to vent the canner, why we do the things we do, why we break down our canners and clean them at the end of the year and at the beginning of the year, why you boil or put your canner gaskets if you're not using an All-American. All these are things that people need to know, because not everybody who comes to my channel to see a canning video is a repeat person, right? Take care, Donna. Mwah. Hey, Jill V, how's it going? So this is the kind of information. I can't go off half-cocked. I have to have a plan, right? So what it might be is it might be on one of my other channels that I have no videos on. I have several channels that I have no videos on. They're private. There's nothing on them. And I may do a series of unlisted videos, and then I just may sell the playlist, the unlisted playlist, to whoever wants that information. I'm not a perfectionist. Okay, maybe a little bit. Okay? I'm one of those people you hate to watch movies with. And it's even worse now that I'm fully awake, because I have the brain of an editor and a writer and a director. So my brain just tears things apart. Did you see that? No, what? Back it up. Did you see that? Oh, yeah, what's that? It's this, this, and this. That shouldn't be there. Howie goes, Bev, it's TV. Right? That's just the way my brain works. I hate not getting a piece of information. I am one of those people who's very detail oriented, because that's how I learn. Bev, did you hear anything about them not recommending soaking the canning lids and water first now? A lady mentioned it on another channel, just wondering. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Thank you, David. You don't simmer your lids anymore, because the new lids, it is not a rubber compound. It's called plastisol. And if you boil them, you might overcook the plastisol, and it won't get a proper seal because it's so thin. If you're using Tattler lids, yes, you boil those rubber rings because they're rubber and you need to soften them some. But when it comes to store-bought lids now, like regular disposable lids, inserts, you know what I do? I put them in a tub or a bowl. I put a dish soap in, hot water, dump until there's no suds left, and then I just fill it with hot water and I set it aside. That's it. Hot tap water. Wash, rinse, and then leave it in the water. You have an amazing catalog of videos, but the person watching may be watching for the first time. You cover the safety every time. Thank you, Andrew. That pretty much. Hey, Angie, how's it going? What do you think about raising quail? I couldn't do it. I could not do it. Do you know why? Because I want them for pets. I'm getting to the point now in my life where I eat meat. I know where it comes from, and I hate the fact that I have to buy it from the grocery store, but it is what it is. But it's like ducks. It's not that I can't eat them. It's just they're very cute, and they go beep, 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 beep. They're like babies to me. Howie's tired. But we're working on that. Like, he's tired in the sense where he can't do the same things he used to. He's in good shape considering his heart, right? Considering he had 3 stents put in his heart in August. But in reality, he's better off than he was for months before his heart attack. However, it's an adjustment of life. That's why we have this channel called Life with the Wolfies, because we're adjusting. All right. The firewood still isn't on the deck yet. Why? Because my husband isn't a blunt instrument anymore. He's had to learn and is learning that, these things have to be taken. Heavy chores have to be done, in a sequence. You can't just, start firing wood onto the deck and then pile it and wheelbarrow it and all this stuff. It's like, for instance, we've had a load of logs. Now, not while we had a channel, but we've had logs before. A load of logs. We used to, with our neighbor back in Ontario, we'd get a load of logs between the 2 houses. And then Howie and Terry, God rest his soul, would cut them up into stove lengths with the chainsaw, and then we'd borrow my dad's log splitter. Then it would get split, and then it would get stacked to dry, and then it's stacked for winter. Then, when we used to get wood from the tree guy, because he was throwing it in the landfill, so we would get trucks loads of that, but it still had to be split and then piled. Now, we get wood cut, split, and delivered. And if that wood isn't on my porch this weekend, and I mean, I'm going to help, right? But we're getting a lot of rain. But if that wood isn't on my porch this weekend, next year, the wood I buy will be cut, split, delivered, and stacked, right? We make adjustments as we get older with our lives. Can you have a chat with my hubby? He goes hard, herd slater, and doesn't listen. I don't think his mind has caught up with his aged body. Well, what is he? How old is he? Heather? Or Angie, sorry. Rhonda! Where's Rhonda? Okay, I have to get behind the fan. I keep meaning to, but I haven't done it yet. But the thing is it shouldn't, you tell him, Ange, it shouldn't take a heart attack to make you slow down, right? I've been watching Howie since he was 39, and I kept saying, wait till you turn 40. That's things when things fall out, spread out, or wear out, baby. A week after he turned 40, Jesus, what did I do to my shoulder? I said, you turned 40, baby. What did I, 2 days later, what did I do to my back? You turned 40. Did you beat me in my sleep? No, you turned 40, honey. It's a fact of life that we have to, this is what I was talking about in, hey, Debbie, how's it going? 45? You got 5 years max to show him how to slow down before he has to slow down because of a heart attack. I'm Rhonda Moulton. So anyway, I was talking about this yesterday in patrons, in the patrons live. I got rid of the solar panels, not because they weren't economical, but because I didn't want my husband getting on the roof and shoveling them off in the winter anymore. And I don't want, if anything had happened to my husband, if he had died with that heart attack, I would have had to pay somebody to come in and figure out what he did with all that solar work. So we just got rid of it, right? I need a new generator. But I mean, so there's things that you change as you age. You never ever make the mistake to think that just because you could do it yesterday means you'll be able to do it tomorrow. Always plan ahead so that you're not stuck in a house where it's falling down around you and you can't fix it and you can't clean it and you can't get in and out of it properly because you're too old and broken down. Never let it get to that point, ever. Hope nothing falls out. My husband turns 40 Sunday. Hey, Laura. Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean? My Boston is bleeding from his butt, from a cyst. He is 11 years old. Is it around his sphincter? Is it near his sphincter? If it's a cyst, and if it's a boil, you can lance it. If it's a cyst, you take him to the doctor. He could have an impacted, he could have fistulas, but he could have a cyst in one of his anal oil glands. Does that make sense? Isn't that the truth, right? So get it to the doctor, because it could be fistulas, which are tears. It could be a cyst impacting an anal oil gland. Don't let that go. Okay? Hey, Ahmad, how are you, darling? I have to close my window. See, I keep opening the window on my Christmas lights on. And so what I meant about this winter is this is what I've been talking about. This winter, you don't see it in my videos, but you might be able to see it right here. There's a little bit of panic going on because I'm starting to sometimes think that the last few years before the pandemic were the best we were ever going to have. But that's not true, because I see a brighter future. We just have to make it through this winter, folks. And this winter, whether you're vaccinated or not, you may want to just stay home, because it's going to be a really bad winter for viruses and colds and flus. And they're all going to get labeled CV. Why? Because all colds and flus are actually technically coronaviruses. I'm doing okay, Ahmad. I've got another canner load of pumpkin to do, and then I'm going to start chopping onions, and I'm done for the day. Except for dishing up dinner, of course. So 70 today, now it's cold. Well, I'm just shutting my window now. I've got my kitchen window open because while I was filling the jars, I was just pouring sweat. Excuse me. Perspiration. My Aunt Josie used to say, horses sweat, men perspire, women glisten. I sweat like a horse. Sorry. I see it, Bev, but you've got to come to terms with it and move on, all in your time frame. What are we talking about, Joe Mama? Did I miss something? See, that's the way my brain keeps jumping along with the chat. But so, I'm sorry if I seem to be a little bit off center today, but this is just the Bev that's no longer all shreds of... See, I've never been fake, but I have not said things when I could have. Okay? I have always tried to be nice. I don't necessarily have time anymore to, handle people's feelings with kid gloves. I am who I am today, and I'm going straight forward, and I'm doing it in the light and love of God and in honesty and truth and patience and tolerance. But it doesn't always look good. People seem to think love and light and patience and tolerance means that you're some, how are you? I'm so... No. Patience, love, light, and tolerance, and all these things are just part of who you are. It's actions that people see as a part of who you are, but you're not necessarily, So, for instance, people are like, oh my God, now she thinks she's a clairvoyant and a medium and all this stuff. No, I always have been. I just haven't showed it on the internet. Now you guys, regardless, are getting all of me. Okay, you're not getting all of me. There's stuff you just will never see just because I have a private life, right? But I mean, there's very little I'm holding back anymore when it comes to who I am and how I maneuver through life and how I'm going to maneuver through the rest of this worldwide billiards game we're going through. Part of today is the moon. What's the date today? The 18th. Full moon's tomorrow. Ooh, it's going to be a good Freaky Friday. Full moon notwithstanding. We need a strong frost. We've had a couple of them. We've had a bit of snow too, but yeah, good solid frost, kill all the ticks and all that stuff. Well, I've been watching the moon come in through. Sometimes I'll wake up and go, did Howie leave the outside lights on? And oh no, it's the full moon's tomorrow. I love the rants. They get a lot of views. I'm like you. Tell them about it, Bev. I don't rant anymore because I don't have rage anymore. Rants always seem to stem from my frustration of what was going on in my life and in the world and my lack of ability to be able to do anything about it. That's where those rants, those, frothing at the mouth and wild-eyed rants were coming from. But they're not, I don't rant anymore. Okay? Because I'm no longer frothing in frustration at the lack of ability to be able to do stuff. If I can't do something, if I can't express something, I can't do something, I can't figure something out, then it's not for me to do, see, or figure out, is it? Right? I don't need to take on the whole world anymore. Right? All that does is give you ulcers and stress and heart disease and fibromyalgia. What was that? The lunar eclipse. When? I don't see a lunar eclipse. I don't see a lunar eclipse. Oh, I'll have to look out for it. Peggy, thank you. Well, we've been getting a lot of rain. God bless you, Peggy. Thank you. Weather guy said 4:30 a.m. head outside for the eclipse. Well, I'm usually up at 5:45, so I can get up for that. And I usually get up around between 3 and 4 to go pee anyway. Dallas posted about it. Why isn't she here then? No, you express it just right. Okay. Hey, Mia Saber en tu cocina. Hola, buenos tardes. Saludo. I don't speak Spanish, so it's all over the news. Well, I see. I don't watch the news. That's another thing. So my rants aren't rants anymore. They're kind of, I hate to use the word revelation because people go, ooh, you get all religious and Bible-y, but it's not. Revelation means just to reveal, okay? So I've learned that if there's something I can do nothing about, then it's not my place or my job to worry about it. Why? Because there's nothing I can do. The big stress is one of the biggest killers on the face of the earth. It causes fibromyalgia, heart disease, stroke. Stress is really nasty shit, right? So, because I'm in Virginia, I don't think I'll be getting up though. 4:30 is too early for me. No, the full moon here's tomorrow night. Full moon's tomorrow. Today's Thursday, right? Tomorrow's the full moon, and I still haven't got a puff yet. So now, where I am now, okay, is I may have removed a lot of those rants, but I kept them because I want to someday go back. Maybe I'll make a video someday showing of what I was like in the beginning and like 12 years at a glance, only more in depth with me and my emotions. But the truth is, if you stress over something you can do nothing about, it's a waste of energy and it's a waste of your precious health. That's why I don't rant anymore. I get angry and I still get hurt, but I process it quickly. I go right to the source and go, is there anything I can do about that? No. Well, then, guess there's nothing I can do about that. No sense worrying about it. And kick it to the curb. Translation, good afternoon and greeting. Thank you, Seashell. So that's why I'm saying that the journey I have been on, right? Everybody knows my story of me pulling my spirit body through the eye of a needle to scrape off all of man's interference. Not all of it. I mean, we can't really be born and get to the point in our lives where we're fully functional and looking after ourselves without interference, without parents and all that stuff. But there's a whole lot of unnecessary information that has been put on us by schools, banks, churches, clubs, politicians. You know what? I talked about this before where I said our patriarchal system is crumbling, and it is. Okay? But the reason it's crumbling is because it never should have been done this way in the first place. Remember me talking about when man sat around in a cave trying to get warm, and one guy figured out how to start a fire? They immediately elevated that guy to be the leader. The biggest mistake humankind has ever made is elevating another human being above themselves as leader. We are not supposed to lead. We are not supposed to. We are one. Okay? And the moment you start elevating different people into different positions of power in your life, then you're giving away your freedom. Okay? We are supposed to live in community with each other. Decisions are supposed to be communal. Otherwise, you end up with an idiot in office who's nothing but a puppet to invisible powers to take away your freedom. Why? Because we elevated them there and we don't know how to get them down. Take care, Malka. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the way our society runs with politicians and schools and churches and religions and structures and borders and all these things, the more you put divisions between people, the more you clearly define some people as better than or having extra privileges, all right, you're segregating them. So we've been living in a segregated society forever. Forever. This is just the final push. This is just the final push. So, if, let's just, for instance, say, well, if you take down that structure, what do you replace it with? Well, you replace it with something more similar to Native Americans back in the day, or indigenous people, okay? They had councils. No, yes, they had a chief, but the chief still listened to the council. And yes, it's a form of government, okay? But the governments the way they are today have too much power and not enough accountability. And they're driving us into the ground. There's a lot of people out there, I'm going to say 75% of the world's population have no idea how close we came to being an enslaved world populace under a one world government. All right, David. I don't know what some of these fellow humans of ours would be able to function without leadership. Well, there's a lot of people out there that says there's way too many people on the planet as it is. And there's a lot of people trying to do something about that. This cannot, the way the world is being run right now is not sustainable. Not sustainable for our planet, not sustainable for us, and not sustainable as a society. So it is. And what worries me the most, one of the things that worries me is I have family in Australia, and I hear from them they post on Facebook and stuff, but I never hear anything about the shit I hear that's going on over there. And I'm wondering, is it because their internet's being monitored? Are they being that heavily monitored that they're afraid to even tell us the truth through the internet? I don't know. All I know is getting angry has its place. Standing up for yourself, because the last I checked, governments worked for us. And instead, we've become a cash cow for the wealthy politicians and hierarchy of the world. We're the cash cow. Well, Australia's not just closed to travel. From what I've heard, but this is why I don't want to say anything, because I don't know what it actually is like, because I only know people from over there. Rebel News reporter Ave Yemeni covers Australia very well. Maybe have a talk show. I would listen every day. Talk about this kind of stuff, interesting, informative, and real. But I can't always talk about this stuff. And the only time I do talk about the real heavy issues is with my patrons, because I do have Patreon, and we do live stream on Monday, Wednesdays, and Freaky Fridays. Freaky Fridays, we basically just, medicate, which I'm not doing, am I? We basically medicate and listen to music and read cards and all that stuff. But Patreon live streams, Lynn, thank you. Thank you so very much. Patreon live streams are the only place now that I feel safe talking. And I still have to be careful about what I say, even though they're unlisted. Why? Because Daddy's home. Because people will report it. I mean, just because it's unlisted and only goes to my patrons, it's still a trust relationship between me and my patrons, right? That they don't share the unlisted live. That's why if I do a series on making how to do a YouTube channel, I'm going to have to make it an unlisted series and it's going to cost. Only because it's taking a lot of my time to do it, right? Thank you so much, Lynn. God bless you. Me too, Chaos. I love our Patreon time. I don't know how to do a podcast. If somebody would teach me how to do a podcast, like, you got to think about this, folks. I am not even doing anything on my reading channel right now. I'm not doing any live streams on my reading channel. I'm not doing any, I haven't read any extra. I'm only technically running 2 channels right now, and I'm exhausted because I'm getting all the, was there any mail, darling? Really? No mail again. You could do a podcast. See, I would have to learn how to do that. And guys, it took me 12 years to get to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Seriously, right? That's what I need to know, Rodney, is what is a podcast and how it works. I'm not done yet. What do you want, green beans or carrots? Look under the lid of the frying pan. You have time for a shower. And tell me if you want carrots or green beans. Well, I mean, I still do reading, and I am going to be coming back and doing the live readings, but Howard has to help me take a shelf off the wall and put my green screen up. So, and then I'm going to start doing green beans. Well, grab a jar out of the, make sure it's a jar from last year. Grab a jar out of the pantry then, darling. Oh my God, not a new thing to learn. I know exactly, right? It's like, come on, guys. I'm 57 years old. There are limits. My brain can only hold so much. Then it starts kicking shit out the back and I start forgetting. A podcast is basically a show that you just listen to. Some are series with weekly or daily episodes. Others are just short series on a particular topic. Others are just a one-time deal. Oh, well, Maggie, I do readings. I'm going to do readings once a month live, publicly on Life with the Wolfies, and I'll be doing it from downstairs. You guys all saw the first one, which kind of was a rough start, but I'm going to do that once a month. But patrons, we sit here and talk. We do cards. Most of the time we do our Monday and Wednesdays up here because I have trouble with the stairs. But once things are all set up exactly the way they're supposed to be down there, I'm going to be doing my Little House live readings. I'm going to pull another Christmas reading, live reading this year. And I'm going to be doing, once a month, I'm going to do public lives where I go in glamour, makeup, and I do card readings, divining rods, pendulums, the whole 9 yards. However, patrons get that on request during Monday, Wednesday, or Freaky Friday. If somebody wants a reading, they get one just because they're patrons. And it's a whole lot easier being a patron than coming on. Okay, this is the way my thought process works, okay? Okay. Wait, Maggie, because you may change your mind. This is how it works. It's my Patreon is $5 a month American or $7 a month Canadian. That's the lowest I dare go, because if I go any lower, then it allows anybody in who just wants to shit disturb. Okay? And what that gives you is live streams unlisted on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And you have to agree when you become a patron that you are not going to share those links with anybody. Okay? But if you don't want to be a patron, but you still want to get a reading done, then it's live stream once a month. At the end of the month, I'm going to do a live stream on Life with the Wolfies, where I will do readings and divination and like with divining rods and pendulums and all that stuff. but people will tip, kind of like they've tipped today, only not $50. You know what I mean? The minimum tip is like $2.99, I think. On what is the, somebody tell me what the minimum tip is on this channel. You don't have to tip to do it. Just cancel it before, but see what the absolute minimum is. Because that, if you give me an absolute minimum tip, it's like $2.99 or $5. You get a reading. The higher the tip, the more in-depth you're reading. The reason I'm doing it that way is because how many people? We got 81 people here right now. Can you imagine me trying to do readings for 81 people when they all start asking all at once? So the tip is for like a one-time reading. If you're a patron, then you can get I have 5 or 6, 7 decks of cards, and you can get that, once a week if you want, right? Twice a week, right? So that's how it works. That's how it works. Patrons get more because they're patrons. And we get to talk about stuff that I cannot talk about live here because they will demonetize my video, right? I can't even, I have to talk in code. 2 + 2 = 5. So, basically a patron live stream is like this. Okay, we're running really long today, and I'm gonna have to shut down right shortly. But basically, a patron's live stream is like this, except I don't have to hide behind a fan when I medicate, which I'm gonna do because I keep trying. I haven't done it yet. I don't have to watch my language as much. I talk more about my personal life than I would here. Patreon to me, my Mondays, and especially Mondays and Wednesdays, are the days that I come in here, and sometimes there's 10 of us, sometimes there's 5, sometimes there's 3, sometimes there's 50. But I come here, we come here at Patrons time so that we can talk real. It's real talk. We talk about whatever we want, and the devil takes the hindmost. You know what I mean? But I can't do that live publicly. So that's why we have Patreon. And I mean, some people support Patreon just because they support me. And they don't even bother coming into the live streams. Some people just support because they want to, and I thank them for that. But I tell you something, I never come to a live stream, whether it's Patreon or here, that I don't actually learn something in the process of visiting with you guys. That's why it's always so cool, right? Anyway, what time do you do Patreon lives? Usually at 5 p.m., like tonight. Usually at 5 p.m., sometimes 4, but usually 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Freaky Fridays is at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because I have to pick up Briar from work and I can't medicate and drive. So it has to wait till after I pick him up from work. Unless there's a day where Howie said, no, I'll pick him up and it's like 7 o'clock and then I'll go early. But 9 times out of 10, it's 9:30 p.m. EST and it's downstairs in the studio. Are usually at 4 or 5 p.m. and Fridays are later. Yes. All right. Listen, guys, I've been here for an hour and a half and I can't, I have to save my data for my live streams, right? So for all those who care to, now listen, you don't have to stay if you don't pray, but you don't have to leave either. This is where we say, we lift each other up. We say a prayer for the world. We say a prayer for each other, but we do it on faith, not religion. So this is where before we do that,
somebody wants a cookie.
Oh, no? Okay, well then go bug Daddy. I'm not playing with you. So, this is where we drop the walls that divide us. And we link hearts and we link hands and we share the commonalities of our faith in a prayer. And we push as much light and love out to the world. Because the more love and light we push out to the world, the more the darkness gets pushed back. Do you understand? But you're not judged if you don't stay. Okay? There's no judge. No, there's nobody has a right to judge. Okay? There is no judgment. That's a human concept. Judgment is a human concept. You understand? All right. All righty. Freaky Fridays are the best party in the block. In your own home. Well, thank you. I'm going to open my canner now that it's cooled down, and I'm going to get canning the last of the pumpkin while I dish up Howie's dinner. Right? All right. So I've given everybody time to leave if they don't want to stay. It's all about your comfort zone. All right? And folks, when I talk to God, I talk to my God. I'm not saying our gods are separate. I'm just saying I have a specific language that I use to talk to my higher power. You talk to your higher power in whatever language works for you. Okay? So, hey, DJ. Thank you. Let's take a nice deep breath. Hey, God, creator, great spirit, creator of all, including Christ. How's it going, God? We came together today, and again, I was a little testy at some points, but like I said, God, I'm no longer changing my words or anything to make somebody else see me differently. I've got to be me. I've got to be me. I've got to be me. Sorry. Thank you, God, for bringing us all together, letting us lift each other up, giving each other love and light and energy so that we can just put one foot in front of the other every day, knowing that somebody out there is praying for us and caring for us and petitioning you on our behalf. We got a lot of friends that are sick and alone and afraid and addicted and neglected and judged. We just want to lift those people up to you, God, because sometimes we can't pick ourselves up. We need to pick each other up. So now, God, we're going to link hearts and we're going to link hands. And we're going to ask that you fill us full of your divine light of love and patience and tolerance and peace and blessings and joy. And when we are so full of that light, God, we just can't contain it. We push that light out. And it becomes a big, beautiful, iridescent dome of 1,001 divine flares, so that the tired and the hungry and the alone and the frightened and the sick have a place to take shelter until they can breathe and stand and lift their light aloft and add it to ours. Until then, we'll hold it up for them, God. Until we meet again, we will hold the light up. Thank you, God. Thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for filling us with your love and the light of your love. Help us to see the future as a better place and not as it is now. Because we know, God, what we see is what we project and what we manifest, therefore what we get. Fill our hearts with love and joy, God, even in the smallest of things, like a snuggle from a pup or a smile of a child. It's all good. Amen. Shalom. Namaste. Peace be with you. Merry meet, merry part. Miigwech, blessed be. Walk with God. Walk in the light. Never stray from the path. Never eat a wind-fallen apple, and never trust a man whose eyebrows meet. Whatever. Just thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your love and your light. If we all do that just a little bit more, things are just going to get better. They have to, don't they? Take care. God bless. And never forget, you are loved. You are worthy of love. You are beautiful. You are important. You're here for a reason. Every single one of us are. I love you. Don't ever forget that.